Hello there. Are you planning to start a container garden? The one important thing you need to sort out is the right container size for whatever it is you plan to grow in your garden. So in this video, I'll help you to figure out the best container size for whatever it is you plan to grow in your container garden this year. Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Zumi and I'm a Nigerian living in Canada. So on this channel, I share about my life in Canada as an immigrant, container gardening tutorials, recipe remixes using Nigerian and Canadian ingredients, self-development tips, and so much more. So if this kind of content appeals to you, kindly consider clicking the subscribe button so that you can receive notifications when I upload new videos each week. So the fact is that various types of plants thrive best in different container sizes. So it's important for you to know what container size would work best for what you plan to grow in your garden. So I tried to film outside to show us a little bit of how I'm going to be setting up my container garden, but it was so sunny, so I thought I'll do it indoors. But definitely these videos will get more exciting when you get to see the plants growing in real life, so please bear with me. Most leafy greens like kale, spinach, and maybe water leaf and all those ones, they do quite well in shallow containers like this one because the root system is not very deep. So I'm just going to be taking measurements of these containers so that it will give you a general idea of what to expect, because looking at it on the video sometimes it makes it look so big. This one is like 11 inches across and like 8.5 inches down, right? So it's quite shallow. Then I have another one here that I probably will be using for planting water leaves. So this one is quite shallow, as you can see. It's about how many inches? Just 5.5 inches down, and the length doesn't really matter. This one is about 34 inches. So in essence, most leafy vegetables do very well in shallow containers. So I've even seen people using plastic water containers like this one, but maybe the bigger sized ones for planting leafy vegetables like lettuce, spinach, kale, and the rest of them, and they do quite well. So in the same way, if you plan to grow leafy vegetables, then you should not bother buying very deep containers. Shallow containers will do the job for you. Here is another shallow container that I have. This one is 6.5 inches down, and like I said, the length doesn't really matter. And this is 21 inches across. So I intend to hang this on my balcony. So I'm going to be getting more of them, and it's just to give you an idea of what you can do, how you can set up your garden and maximize your space. So I thought I'll show you this one. On the other hand, if you plan to grow vegetables that bear fruits, such as tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, squash, garden egg, and all the rest of them, you would need containers that are deeper and bigger, because the root system of such plants are very vast and they need space to grow. So if you grow them in smaller containers, they might still bear fruit, but they won't give you the maximum yield that you can get if you are planting in deeper containers. So for this size of container, this container I have is the one I'm going to be using for maybe tomatoes, peppers this year. And I have lots of them from last year. Like I mentioned, such containers are reusable. So for this one, the size is 13 inches across, and the height is 10 inches. Okay, so for this one, I can use it to plant just one tomato seed. That is how vast the tomatoes root system gets. It needs a big container, and the bigger the container, the better. But if I'm doing peppers, although peppers also need space, but I could do probably 2 in this container. Okay, last year I did like 3 pepper seeds in a wider container. Maybe the container size would be like a little bit bigger than this one, and I did 3 peppers in them, and they did very well too. So but when it comes to tomatoes, they need all the space. So for plants like carrots and maybe potatoes and all the rest of the tuberous plants that bear tubers under the ground, you would need containers that are wider and deeper, because they need space for the tubers to grow out. So the bigger the space you give them, the bigger they get. So for example, you can use this. This is like all these Rubbermaid containers. This one, the size is so the size of this container is 16 inches down, and this is like 21 inches across. If you would like to experiment with planting trees, definitely trees would need even bigger containers. But what you can do is, if you are starting from scratch, you would need to use smaller containers, and as the tree grows bigger, then you can transplant. But definitely if you are planting in a cold climate and whatever tree you're planting is not one that can survive in a cold climate, you would need to bring them indoors when the weather gets colder, and then when the summer comes again, or when the warmer weather comes, then you can bring them outside. So where do I get my containers? I've mentioned it in another video, but I'm going to still say it again in case you need the information. I normally get my containers at dollar stores or on Facebook Marketplace because they are way cheaper at those places. You can definitely also get containers at Costco, Canadian Tires, Walmart, and the rest of them, but I find them to be more expensive. However, if you are looking out for fancier planters and you don't really mind the pricing, then you might be able to really come across some nice designs of planters at garden centers or on websites like Wayfair, Amazon, and all the rest of them. At the dollar store, I usually buy these planters within the range of $2 to $4. The ones that are shallow and smaller usually cost around $2 to $3, but the bigger ones like this one cost $4 maximum. Now that you know what size of container works best for what you are going to be planting, I would encourage you to go right ahead and start sourcing for your containers, because most of the times when the planting season comes on in full force, you might find it difficult to get the exact size of container you are looking for, or maybe even the color or the shape. And this has happened to me in times past. Now I have different colors and shapes and sizes. I would definitely have loved to have my containers almost the same color and all that, but because when I didn't know better, I used to go during the planting season to look for containers. I would end up having to make do with whatever is available in the shops. So you can avoid that by starting to source for your own containers now, so that you can be able to maintain aesthetics while having the exact sizes you still like to have. So what kind of containers will work for your own space? I'm truly excited to try out these ones. I'm really tripping for this my container. So I'm going to max out all my balcony space and still be able to get lots of harvest. Woohoo! So I hope you found this video helpful. If you would like to learn more about container gardening and you've not yet subscribed, please kindly consider clicking the subscribe button so that you can receive updates when I upload new videos about container gardening. I also will be documenting my container gardening journey this year, and you will find it helpful if you are starting your own container garden from scratch. Also, don't forget to share this video with your loved ones and your friends if you feel like it's going to add value to them. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Stay safe and stay blessed. Bye.